This is the Xbox Adaptive Controller. If you clicked on this video, you probably already know what it does. Its main feature is that in addition to the buttons it has, you can also connect external buttons or joysticks to it, and this way you can customize your setup to your individual needs. As the name suggests, the Xbox Adaptive Controller is meant to be used with Xbox consoles. It also works on PC. This is a Nintendo Switch. If I were to just plug the Xbox Adaptive Controller into the Switch, sadly it wouldn't do anything, it just doesn't work. There is a similar controller for the Nintendo Switch. It's called the HID Remapper. It works pretty much the same as the Xbox Adaptive Controller. You can connect external buttons and joysticks to it using 3.5mm jacks or its USB inputs. It has more buttons of its own, and it works with the Switch. But it's kind of expensive and not widely available. And maybe you already have an Xbox Adaptive Controller. Maybe you have everything set up the way you like and you just want to use your existing setup with your Switch. Well, you're in luck, because I'm about to show you how to do it in two different ways, first wired and then wireless. This is HID Remapper. It's sort of a universal adapter for USB input devices with fairly flexible mapping abilities. We are going to use it to make the Xbox Adaptive Controller compatible with Nintendo Switch. First, let's plug the Xbox Adaptive Controller into HID Remapper. Then let's connect HID Remapper to our computer. This will be a one-time setup. After we configure everything, we'll just plug it into the Nintendo Switch and we won't need the computer anymore. Okay. This is what the configuration interface for HID Remapper looks like. It's just a website you go to in your browser. You don't need to install any software, and it works on any desktop OS that has Google Chrome, Windows, Mac, Linux, Chrome OS. I'm not going to talk about everything here in detail. I'm just going to show you what to do to make it work. In the Examples tab, there are some ready-to-use configurations that are meant as starting points or as demonstrations of some HID Remapper features. The ones of interest to us today are here: Xbox controller, USB adapter for Switch. When I click on it, the configuration is loaded. And here's why the device is called HID Remapper. Its configuration consists of mappings that say, for example, whenever the A button is pressed on a connected device, send out the B button. Whenever B is pressed, send out A, and so on. As you can see, some of the mappings have expression on the input side instead of a simple input. You don't have to concern yourself with that right now if you don't want to. Expressions are essentially formulas that are used whenever we want to map between things that aren't the exact same shape on the input side and on the output side. Here's what they look like. For example, because the analog axis on the Xbox Adaptive Controller use a range of -32,000 to +32,000, and standard USB controllers, like the ones used by the Nintendo Switch, use a range of 0 to 255, this expression scales between these two ranges. Again, don't worry about it for now. All that's left to do is to actually save this configuration to our HID Remapper. Until now it was only loaded on this configuration tool. First we connect to our HID Remapper, open device, select our device, connect. Okay, now we save the configuration to the device. And done. It is ready to be used with the Nintendo Switch. Let's disconnect it from our computer and plug it into the Switch. I'm actually going to plug it into the dock and put the Switch on the dock so that we can capture video output from it. But it would also work the same if I just plugged it into the Switch directly in portable mode. It works with the Switch Lite as well. let's see if our configuration works. Let's go to the controller testing menu. As you can see, I'm already using the Xbox Adaptive Controller to move around the menu, so yeah, it works. Let's test the buttons. The buttons work. But what about analog sticks? For this, let's plug a joystick into the Xbox Adaptive Controller. If I plug it into the USB port on the right-hand side of the controller, it will function as the right analog stick. Great, it looks like the analog stick works as well. And that's how you can use the Xbox Adaptive Controller with your Nintendo Switch. But I also promised you a wireless version of this. Both the Switch and the Xbox Adaptive Controller have Bluetooth, but sadly they don't just work together. For this, we're going to use the Bluetooth version of HID Remapper. The Bluetooth version connects to your computer over USB, same as the standard version, but you connect other devices to it over Bluetooth. So in our case, the Xbox Adaptive Controller will talk wirelessly over Bluetooth to HID Remapper, and HID Remapper will pretend to be a USB controller to the Nintendo Switch. Okay, the configuration will be similar to what we did for the wire version. First, let me connect this to my computer. Go to the Examples tab, load the Xbox Controller Bluetooth Adapter for Switch preset, open Device, select Device, Connect. OK, we save the configuration to HID Remapper, and we also need to pair it with the Xbox Adaptive Controller, like you normally do with Bluetooth devices. This is done from the Actions tab. Pair new device. Actually, because currently no devices are paired to it, it's already in pairing mode. So now we just need to put the Xbox Adaptive Controller in pairing mode. This is done by holding this button here. First turn it on, hold the button, OK. This blinking light, the blinking blue light on HID Remapper board is telling us that they are now paired and connected. Let's connect this HID Remapper to our Switch and see if it works. The buttons work. And let's try the analog stick. The analog stick works as well. Great! This is how you can use an Xbox Adaptive Controller with the Nintendo Switch wirelessly. That is it for this video. If you'd like to know more about HID Remapper, how to get one and what else it can do, take a look at the GitHub repository. If you have any questions or if there's something you'd like to see covered in a future video, please leave a comment. Thanks for watching.